So if the definition of racism is holding power over someone else, is that how you define it?
It's not how I define it, it's what is.
Black folks make the same media that white folks want to see because we are catering to them. I'm trying to say this in every outlet. The biggest problem in our community is most black people don't want to be black.
I would not want to ever be in the same position that I was previous to certain experiences. For example, I've traveled to Africa. If that's not going to change me, then what is? You know, it's sort of like people go to the moon and come back and run for Senate or something. I mean, you're supposed to make a major change in your life.
But there are people who expect you, who clearly have expected you to stay the same. That's the way they first identified with you, and they've expressed some disappointment that you've changed. How do you react to that?
Well, I'm real sorry, but I think that my responsibility in my life is to grow. I wrote a poem, my latest book, Cotton Candy on a Rainy Day, and one of the lines in there is that they sing the same old song, stay as sweet as you are in my corner, or perhaps just a little bit longer. And I think that people that want you to stay, it's because they feel comfortable with who you are. They want you to get their nut off while they want to grow and mature. And
this thing is so shrewdly done that the average Negro will look at it and read it, and because it says Egypt, he never identifies it with him or him with it. It shows you how shrewd the white man is. But when all you have to do is look at the features of the thing, and you can see, brother, they got all the features that the white man says Negroes have. But because it is associated or connected with something of such value, archaeological and historic, anthropological value, the white man tries to steal it for himself and says, no, these are white people, these aren't black people. And look at this for yourself. Look closely at it.
Black is not our color, it's our core. It's what we've been living and fighting and dying for. But if you choose to be called African American and that's your preference, then I give you that reference. But I know on this issue I don't stand alone on my own. And if I do, then let me be me. And I'd appreciate it if when you see me, you say, there goes a man who says it loud. I'm black. I'm a black American, and I'm proud. Because I love being an American. And I love being black. I love being called black. Yeah, I said it, and I don't take it back.
Come sit down with me. I'm so excited to share with you guys this journey through Egypt. You know, turning 30 for me was a pretty big deal. I've lived my 20s, all 10 years, completely on my rules. So bringing in my 30s was super important to me and my friend Unique. We've been manifesting this trip since probably like 2017. So I definitely wanted to capture the journey and share why I even wanted to go to such a place like Egypt. My curiosity about Egypt started with my personal spiritual journey, which I've been on for the majority of my life. Even unknowingly, unconsciously, I think everyone is on their own spiritual journey. Whether you are physically aware of your practice or oblivious to it, it all is a form of who you are and the direction you're going in. Egypt is a part of my journey. It's a part of my timeline in my life, and I wanted to explore that. A Black African American in America. I don't know the actual place of my roots. At least that's what they tell us. I believe we're indigenous to the land of America. but that's a documentary for another day. In this documentary, I want to explore my attachment to Egypt in any way. I wanted to go to the land, myself and Unique. We wanted to go. We wanted to feel connected or see if there was a connection to Egypt at all. So come along and try to see if you feel the same connection.
What is it that you really want out of your life? You might almost feel like you're dying to a certain part of yourself. A part of yourself is dying, okay? It's gonna feel like death almost. But just like a caterpillar going into a cocoon, thinking it's dying. Only one version of yourself is dying. And this, as cliche as this sounds, on the other side of this process is this beautiful new version of you. You are literally coming out of this as a new, better, improved version of you, a butterfly.
My life has always been about a journey, the process of things. With this trip, my intention is to show the ever-evolving journey of an artist and how that comes with experience of not only the skill set, but experience of living through this life. Egypt is one of those places I believe that is just highly vibrational and transformative and transcending. And that's what I plan to do with this, is to transcend a lot of my own bullshit, find things within myself that will help me grow, inspire me to be a better artist with more depth within my work and my journey, and to discover parts of myself that I didn't know existed. The eye definitely has to travel. The eye has to see new things. The artist has to see new things and witness and be around new experiences to feel alive. At least that's what works for me. My soul has been craving something different. If you know me, you know that I'm definitely one to not allow grass to grow under my feet, as my grandfather calls it. But I love to move around. I love to experience new things, see new things, become new things. I just want to do things differently. I'm ready to transform. I'm getting ready to go. I've actually been packed for, I'm gonna say I've been packed for like 3 days. I'm going into a new decade, by the way, something I didn't say in the intro. My birthday is August 18th, so I'm going right before that. And this entire year, to be honest, I've been trying to release old ways and release old habits and things that no longer serve me, whether that be people, places, or things. I'm releasing it within this month, letting it go. If it's something that has, is not giving me the same energy that I'm giving it, I'm letting it go. And after this trip, when I come back, I'm coming back a completely different person. And so now I feel like I'm just getting back into my energy and my power and having more confidence in the direction I'm going in. Even if things are not perfectly aligned right now, I'm completely confident that everything that is panning out and that will happen as it should. So that was a mouthful, but I'm ready. So before I headed to Egypt, I actually made a pit stop in Detroit, which was honestly really aligned for me. I felt like if I'm gonna go somewhere halfway around the world, I might as well stop at home first. My actual Mecca in America, my homeland, is Detroit. It's a place where I grew. It's where I know most of my family. It's home for me. Detroit is where I learned some of my very first perspectives and ideologies about life. And one thing I've learned about living 30 years is that this world, this life tends to bombard you with its own concepts, its own theories, and its own ideologies about what this world really means. It even tries to tell you about yourself, where you're from, what you've lived on. And me personally, I believe we've all been here multiple times. I believe that even if in this lifetime my bloodline is not necessarily connected to Egypt in any way, I have lived there on a timeline in some other life. So, starting here in Detroit, I wanted to just take myself back to all the things that I did believe being here. All the different people and, you know, my family and how they make me feel being here. How Detroit makes me feel. And I wanted to see if I felt that same way in Egypt.
I said I'm sick of playing games, I'm going in like the bell rung. I ain't talking all that extra shit, I got a handgun. About to make a figure 8, that's 8 figures. Nigga call me Michelle Kwan, Olympics with my medal on. Walking on the field, I ain't even asked to rep. Walking past the ops, I ain't even got a vest. Walk past some niggas, really thought that they was running shit. I walk past my old bitch, she looking at me funny. Kid so icy, got these niggas trying to recruit. Fucked your girl last night, she say she got a reboot. Go around this bitch a few times, don't call me Mary. About to flip a few birds and some eggs, ain't no canary. About to make a bitch dreams come true, I am not a fairy. Let her give me top and roll my woods and now she think we married. Buy a bowl just to smoke, no this ain't no operation. Just a nerd from the hood and these niggas still be hating shit. I never took a life, but I'll do it if it come up. Game kinda hard but kinda easy, watch it fuck up. Never took a life, but I'll do it if it come up. Game kinda hard but kinda easy, watch it fuck up. Summertime, whole hood up, we on hood shit, ride down the five.
Before you move forward, you should always be focused on, you know, what got you here. Reflect on that. And then when you move forward, you'll understand why things happen the way they did, what is unfolding in front of you, and how you can really navigate going through the next level, the next chapter. Alright guys, hopefully that made sense. I'm a little actually hungover. I actually went out last night, inserts clip. But yes, hopefully continue to master your gaze out there, guys. Continue to be yourself, be true to yourself, and yeah, I'll be back. The next video vlog will be me in a lit space, so stay tuned, y'all. Keep watching.
Where we headed?
We are headed to Egypt. Hey! Seawalk. First stop.
Well, it's an accent mixed with French and all the other languages.
Do we have an accent?
You guys have an accent from the United States.
Really? Yeah.
Yes. Are you guys from there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michigan. It's time, Uni.
Can offer you a service in English, French, and we also have one Arabic speaker on board. I'd like to remind you that wearing an approved face covering and a mask over your mouth, nose, and chin, even if you're fully vaccinated against COVID-19, is required by Transport Canada, and it's a mandatory requirement. Also, recent guidelines from the Public Health Agency of Canada encourage the wearing of
Relax.
I don't know, Kareem. You almost hit somebody. Now, we flew into Cairo, but heading to Siwa was going to take about 7 to 8 more hours in the car. Yeah, we had jet lag, but this view was worth the drive. After arriving to Siwa, we made it a must to go to the salt cave. You literally get buried into the salt and you can feel the salt pulling out all the negative energy and really waking up your body and your muscles and your spirit. This was the perfect thing to do after an 8-hour drive and a 10-hour flight. We felt so refreshed and energetic after this meditation. Yeah, this is the salt cave.
Hey y'all.
There's Uni. It's like full of salt. In the ceiling. You know?
This is dope.
We just did a salt cave retreat and released all the old energy of our 20s to bring in these beautiful 30s. How did it feel, Uni?
Oh my god, amazing. I'm like floating right now.
We are floating.
We are.
I don't know if it's that or the shrooms.
Could be a little bit of both.
Be a whole movie. The next day in Siwa, we decided to head straight to the salt ponds. These ponds are literally the saltiest water you will ever swim in. And because of that, you can't really open your eyes or even get this in your nose. It'll burn. But what you can do in this water is float with ease. And being someone who can't swim, this was an amazement for me, but also a little bit of a fear. So I decided to take this as a moment to release any fears that I had. If you guys know anything about salt, it is a charging, natural substance, but also something to release any negativity and fears from the body. And that's exactly what we did.
Is it hot? It's cold. Oh, I want to get in. I guess you want to get in. You want to get back in? Or you?
Cleopatra's Pool of Youth was just that. A pool full of the youth having and enjoying themselves within it, surrounded by lots of date trees and very refreshing air. This was one of the most local, authentic experiences we had on the trip. When I think about the most joy I've had, hands down, it was the safari in the Sahara Desert. Siwa is right next door to the Sahara Desert. How profound is that? Such a beautiful place. And you would think it would be extremely hot here, but it was a cool air. It was a very nice breeze, and there were small oases in the desert as well. I really enjoyed this experience because we literally dove up and down the hills in the car and shared laughs with one another, listened to loud music, loud Arabic music, and just had a good time.
For me, Egyptian cotton is out to be already on me. I'm wondering what you got for me. Egyptian cotton is out to be already on me.
We ended this excursion with sandboarding down the dunes and tea, watching the sunset. I literally couldn't ask for more. This was the most freeing experience I've had by far in Egypt. So before we took our journey to Siwa, we stopped at Agiba Beach. Y'all, this beach was transformative for me and unique. I have never in my life seen such a pure blue water. And me, a person that absolutely loves blue, and I just feel really connected to that color. Having the knowledge of
Giza and the pyramids being the throat chakra of the world, and that being symbolic of the color blue. Seeing the water this color was a different type of alignment.
Now this beach is not your average beach. If you just take a moment to look at the water here, you would be in awe for days. It was really this true blue to the eye. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew Egypt had amazing scenery, but I never thought that the water would be this profound and so pigmented as it was. Being an artist, this literally blew me away. JASSIEuo was about 8 hours away from Cairo. 7 if you're driving quick. So we had to make our way back to Cairo to part our ways to LUXOR, where we would go see the temples and all that good stuff.
Egypt. Right now, we are in LUXOR, and a lot of the documentary so far has been voiceover, but it's been an experience. But I wanted to pop in and talk to you guys about where we've been so far. Our first stop was in Siwa, Egypt, Siwa Oasis. And what we experienced there was salt ponds. We also went to the Sahara Desert, and we had a safari there. We also went into a salt cave and meditated and recharged our body, literally. The experience was soothing, but it was also felt like energy. After the salt cave, I felt very, very energetic. Very much like I wanted to run miles. Like my friend Unique, she's actually getting ready. We're about to go to Valley of the Kings to see the tombs. So this is the most exciting part of the documentary. And I wanted to make sure that I had to sit down, chit chat with you guys to let you guys know where and how we're moving throughout this documentary or this series. But yeah, the house that we're staying in right now is just so lush and just very, very comfortable. I'm going to show you guys clips of that as well, and breakfast, and come along for the rest of the journey.
Loving how you wind up. For me, tonight is all on me. Mash up the place for me, yeah, yeah. She just wanna highlight. Ooh, that body talk to me. I need a taste, baby. Loving the way you move around me. No more delay. No, you can't wait to shut it down. Want you show me how you work it. I can't find no flaws, you perfect. Cause every time that you come around my way, I keep falling again.
Being so close to the temples, places where black people like me created, was crazy. Like, just even being in the presence of something so powerful was an ethereal feeling. And it definitely felt like home. This is the point where I started feeling very, very comfortable in Egypt. We had already been there for like 3 days, and we had already experienced like all the excitement, and we were kind of winding down to the energy of the land and seeing just like places that pharaohs walked and everyday Egyptians, even not even the most powerful ones. The people that were everyday people in Egypt during this time were still powerful. And like I said in the beginning, I really felt like I had been here in a lifetime. And even communicating with everyone there and them calling me cousin and having almost a direct interaction with them, like I do with black people. Like I feel like when I'm talking to black people, we are connected in another way, and I felt that connection there.
At the same time, that's why they focused to add their monuments just right here by East Bank and West Bank. So it will be not wrong if you said that Luxor itself contains around 30% of all the world monuments, not just Egypt monuments. For example, in that mountain we have such 4 valleys, not just one valley. Valley of the kings, valley of the queens, valley of the nobles, valley of the artisans. This place, we call it the workers' village. And you see those houses, those people who they are still living in a mountain, and they title themselves by those alabaster factories. Because only the natives over here who can recarve those stones by their hands. Similar idea as their grandfathers. Later we will have chance to stop on one of them to just see how is the carving of these rods by their hands. Spanish mission on our left hand side, they came since 5 years ago, and they are still digging the ground over here with the help of the Egyptian Department of Antiquities in order to find more tombs. Afterlife, one of the most important gods during the ancient Egyptian mythology, his name is Osiris. God Osiris, with his beautiful wife, her name is Goddess Isis, and their son, his name is God Horus. They are considered to be the trinity of the afterlife. Look how we drive like the mountain just in order to go to the Valley of the Kings.
Something I instantly felt arriving at the Valley of the Kings is how massive these monuments really are, and how me recording this or taking any image of this would never do it any justice. It's something you have to go see for yourself, something you have to experience yourself. Even knowing that someone with the same color skin as me, somebody with blood that runs through their veins just like me, built these monuments is, in person, it's just no explanation of how you feel when you're in the presence of something so massive.
This is afterlife shape. But once we see statue has his leg forward, little bit, one of them sitting on his throne, as we're going to see that later.
Egypt is a place that makes you think about lifetimes. How many of you've experienced in this universe, and whether or not you were actually here to see this at a different timeline. And that's exactly what we felt being here, next to these large monuments, next to these pillars, and where some of the most energetically strongest humans on earth have walked. It's a very, very transformative experience and a ethereal feeling as you're amongst this type of history. My biggest takeaways from Egypt is understanding both the divine feminine and the masculine, and how they both work in the same sense to create your own individual power. With this part of our trip, we decided to go see some authentic Egyptians actually carving stone. They create different trinkets and glasses and
stars and bases, and their forefathers actually built the pyramids and the temples. They used the same methods to create these different potteries and small trinkets, and it was really cool to just go back in history and see them in action, using the same tools that their ancestors used to create. The more I travel, the more I find that there is a division everywhere. Upper Egypt is known for less of the purity in Egyptian blood, and Lower Egypt is closer to the Nubian village, which is more of a pure, authentic Egyptian. It's pretty devastating that darker skin is always at the bottom of any civilization in history. At least that's what we're told. One of the things that our tour guide stressed is to not purchase when we were at the Valley of the Kings or any of the tombs we visited in Luxor, just because when you do, that money goes straight to the government instead of going back to the community. This store specifically makes sure that the money is going into the community and into the pockets of the people that actually live within Luxor. So definitely make sure that if you plan to travel to Egypt, to check the shops that you purchase from and make sure it's going back to the people that live there. Luxor is full of history, and one of the things that I couldn't get over that I felt there is the alignment. It felt like I was supposed to be there. A few personal synchronicities that I discovered while I was here is, one, before this trip I decided I wanted to get a tattoo of Horus Eye. And this is nothing new. I've been getting tattoos since 2020. And I specifically didn't get it just because I was going to be in water and I didn't want to ruin it. But it turns out that on this trip I realized my tour guide told me that Nefertiti had the same exact Eye of Horus tattoo. And it was exactly placed on her right arm as well. The alignment was a little trippy, almost surreal. Feeling like, had been called here in a sense. Like I was here to discover not only more about the history of Egyptians, but more about myself and my truth and my core and my soul. This part of the trip is probably the most transformative. The Nubian village symbolizes so much. If you don't know much research about Egypt, Upper Egypt is considered to be more of the colonialized aspect of Egypt. It's where Alexander the Great and everyone kind of started, and it trickled down to, Lower Egypt, which would be Hurghada, Luxor, and all the rest of the cities. This is pivotal because Nubian village is the very last city of Egypt, and they don't even consider themselves to be Egyptians. They consider themselves pure blood Nubian. Nubian, which means black. Egypt, which means Kemet, which also means black. Land. The original Egypt was Nubia. And here is where things got really, really profound. I was so indulged and engaged in the people there, the energy. Me and Unique forgot to even record. We were so present there that we just took it all in.
Like the census of generations, like generations by generations, but they're still contains their blood.
Yeah.
Saved their blood.
Yeah.
That's why they had their language, which is even Egyptians, they not understand it.
Exactly.
It is just 25th, especially ruled by Taharqa. Who's Taharqa? Pure Nubian blood.
Wow.
He add addition in that big religious center.
Wow.
We will not say temple. This is a big religious center. It was the most important spot on the earth during that time, because this was the biggest civilization on the earth during that time. For Taharka to add addition like that here is not easy.
Yeah.
That's why Nubians
It
once
wasn't wanted.
Yeah. That's why Nubians once they said, sons, daughters, kings, and queens, they are not wrong.
Yeah.
Because they are really sons and daughters of those kings who ruled these earth
That's
during that
amazing.
time.
Heading to the Nubian village was a very dreamy experience. Being in the Nubian village was dreamy. This whole trip felt like it was taking me back in time to a place I had already been, to meet people I've already met or vibrationally knew at one point. I sat down in the Nubian village and had tea. I got henna done by pure Nubian, and it felt really comfortable here. It felt like home. We made it a point to see Giza last. Most people travel to Egypt and are so eager to see the pyramids. We set an intention to find the most authentic parts of the land, the true Egypt. The media plays a huge role in how we perceive things and places we travel in this life. We wanted to see the land for what it is, for what the land has to offer us, and truly be guided. I'm going to leave this documentary on one note, and that is to really follow the things that align with you in this lifetime. If this video has inspired you to do anything, I hope it inspires you to do the things that are true to you, and not just doing things because it's what you see others doing or it's something that someone in the media has told you that you need to do. Follow your heart and follow your inner voice, because those things lead you to the most transformative experiences.